Hey, what's up everybody? Andrew from American Musical Supply here. It's summer. I'm wearing shorts. And you know what that means. Not that I'm wearing shorts, but the fact that it's summer. It means that it's time to go out and play some gigs. And that means it's the season for getting your pedal board together. So here at AMS, we're committed to helping you do that. And part of that commitment is me, in this video, taking you through these power supplies from T-Rex. So we got 3 different power supply options here that can cover everything from like a small mini board, maybe you're doing some fly dates, or maybe you just don't feel like carrying a whole bunch of stuff to the gig, all the way up to more medium-sized large board with different voltages, okay? So let's go and take a look. First up, the Fuel Tank Junior. This is a 9-volt only power supply, has 5 outlets, and can provide a total of 120 milliamps per outlet, okay? It's isolated and regulated, so you don't have to worry about ground hum. A cool feature about this is that T-Rex offers a serial cable, which allows you to connect to 2 outlets if you have an 18-volt pedal or a pedal that can run at 18 volts and you want to get some extra headroom out of it. You can do that by combining 2 outlets together. Another cool feature about this supply is that T-Rex also sells an optional link cable that allows you to power up to 5 pedals from 1 outlet. Okay, as long as you don't exceed that 120 milliamp total output for each outlet, you're good. And if you're running mini pedals or simple pedals, you should be fine. So next up, we have the Fuel Tank Chameleon. This one has selectable voltages, which is accomplished by these dip switches right here, this little panel. Okay, so these first 3 outlets are switchable between 9-volt DC and 12-volt DC. This 4th outlet is switchable between 9-volt DC or 18-volt DC. Okay, so whereas on the Junior you had to double 2 outlets up together to get 18 volts, this one you have a dedicated 18-volt outlet. And then outlets 5 and 6, only one of these can be used at a time, okay? So the first one is, again, switchable between 9-volt DC or 12-volt DC, or outlet 6 is 12-volt AC, okay? So if you're running a pedal that requires 12-volt AC, you can use this jack. Just be sure not to use this one as well, okay? So you got 5 jacks, a total of, you got 6 jacks, a total of 5 can be used at once. All right, I need to brush up on my counting skills. But let's move along to the Fuel Tank Classic. Okay, this one is for slightly larger board. Okay, you have 10 outlets. I'm going to explain to you how the power is distributed through these outlets here. These first 8 are 9-volt DC, and a total of 500 milliamps of current is available across these first 8 outlets, okay? So that 500 milliamps is divided up there. Then we have these 2 other sections here with these 2 jacks, these 2 outlets, the 12-volt DC out, which can supply up to 500 milliamps of current, and the 12-volt AC out, which again can supply up to 500 milliamps of current. So you can use all 10 outlets on this. You have 500 milliamps to share across these 8 9-volt DC outlets, and you have 500 milliamps each coming off these 12-volt DC and 12-volt AC outlets, okay? Now the Fuel Tank Classic is isolated, so that takes care of any issues with ground loops and getting hum from your power that way. However, it is unregulated, okay? And that was done intentionally because there are some pedals out on the market that prefer to see unregulated power. An example, application-wise, could be the Line 6 stomp box modelers, such as the DL4, okay, which prefer to see unregulated power. And there may be some vintage pedals too, so that's an option here. The Chameleon is both isolated and regulated, okay? So you got isolated and regulated, isolated and regulated, isolated but unregulated. Cool. A couple of other important things to note about these power supplies are that they each come with a selection of cables that are appropriate for the power options that they offer. Okay, so you can get plugged in right out of the box. And another very cool feature for those of you that travel is that each one of these can be operated either at 115 volts or 230 volts. So switchable power supply there, so you can go and do your gigs in Europe and not worry about, you know, blowing yourself up or blowing up the venue. That would be a lot worse. So that covers the line of T-Rex fuel tank power supplies, and hopefully that's given you a little bit more insight there to be able to choose the one that's right for you and your application. And of course, you can go ahead and pick one up at americanmusical.com.